Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Shine Like a Diamond. Great to have you all here. Today, I have a very special dear friend guest, Rebecca, coming to join us and talk with us about her journey. There's many things we could hit on. She's, adept in many areas and has a lot of tools and skills, but one of her main ones is animal communication. So we're feeling maybe we'll go down that route. But welcome, Rebecca. Nice to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
And I see you have the dolphins in the background. They travel with you everywhere.
Yes, feel very connected to the dolphins. I'm very excited about the dolphin retreat I'm running in 4 weeks' time with these creatures. And yeah, I connect with their consciousness a lot. I work with the dolphin consciousness a lot. Yeah, they're very amazing beings that love to work with us as well. Yeah, yeah.
And so how do you connect in with them, and what way do you work with them?
I I love to swim with them. Swimming with dolphins is like literally my most favorite thing to do in the world. And I've been to swim with them in Kaikoura 15 times. There's a company there which I highly recommend. You go swimming out with the dolphins in the ocean. And so I've paid that company a lot of money to go and swim with the dolphins. And one day the dolphins said to me, "You do realize you don't have to pay to come and swim with us. You can literally go to the ocean and sing and we will come." And so I tested that theory out because I was spending thousands of dollars swimming with them. And I walked to the ocean edge and I sang, and they showed up in the bay that I was in, which was absolutely amazing. So I do work with them in the physical. I telepathically communicate with them so I can connect in with their consciousness as a collective. And I'm sending words and images and feelings to them and receiving that as well. So yeah, when I'm in the ocean or on the ocean, I will often tune in and say, "Hey, are you nearby? Would you like to come and see me?" Obviously, if they're feeding or, hunting or whatever they're doing, I'm not going to disturb them. But if they're kind of playing nearby, then they'll come and say hello. And then if I'm not with them physically, then I also connect in with the consciousness of them as well. So sometimes when I'm doing healing or facilitating groups, I call in the consciousness of the dolphins, and they can actually join you etherically and still bring healing to you on that level. So yeah, I work with them in different levels. But yeah, swimming with them physically is life-changing. Like literally when they swim underneath you, they can scan your physical body and see where there's physical blockages in your body, whether it's trapped emotion or disease, and they can actually send sonar frequencies to your body to heal any ailments in your body. And that's why I think, it's a bucket list for so many people to swim with dolphins, because I think on some level we know the power that they have to assist us. And I actually had a profound experience in the Bahamas where a dolphin actually swam underneath me so close. I was surprised it didn't touch me. And I literally felt something in my body change energetically. It was so powerful. And I just kind of went, "Oh, thank you," because I was aware that they just released something for me. So yeah, I absolutely love the dolphins.
It's quite incredible. Do you
Yeah.
feel people need to be conscious of that aspect, that they can do that for you, or it can just happen without you being aware?
I don't think you need to go and ask for it, or I don't, it doesn't matter whether you're conscious of it or not, the dolphins are going to do that for you. So whether you're swimming with dolphins, you're out on a boat and the dolphins show up, or, you're in a kayak or paddleboarding, or whatever you are, those dolphins are going to offer that service to you. They, through their sonars and their frequencies, just by their energy being around you, they can offer you that healing. Yeah. So even if you're just watching them from a boat, on some level, you're receiving that vibration from them.
Quite special, isn't it? They're, amazing beings. And so they're connected with Sirius, yeah? Or how do
Yeah.
you see that?
Well, I've not really asked them particularly which planet they're connected to. I'm aware that they kind of can swim in and out of dimensions, so that I am aware that they are, they're multigalactic beings. Yeah, the whales and the dolphins I feel very, very connected to. And I feel like I have a strong life purpose with these beings on some level. Like, and I feel like that's expanding as I move through my career. Like this is going to be my first dolphin retreat that I'm facilitating in 4 weeks' time. But I feel like I will run more and more retreats in the future with these beings, because I feel like actually part of my purpose is connecting people with the dolphins and whales, bringing them to the ocean. Yeah. And reconnecting us.
And giving them a deeper understanding of their messages and their frequencies and vibrations. Yeah. And so
Absolutely.
how do you help people in that sense? Is that what happens on the retreat? And also, or do you do that in one-to-one sessions as well? Like how do you help people connect with the consciousness of the dolphins? And actually, what would you call the consciousness of the dolphins? Or describe it?
I don't know what I would call it. I mean, I call
Yeah.
it the consciousness of the dolphin. I
Yes.
don't think
Yeah.
I'll give it any other name.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, each individual animal has a consciousness. So, you know, if I'm doing telepathic communication with the dog, I'm, you know, say we've got Molly the dog here, I'm talking to Molly the dog, like that consciousness of that dog. And if I had a dolphin in front of me, I could talk to that dolphin. But also as an animal communicator, I can telepathically communicate with the consciousness of a species. So say, for example, there was a herd of deer. Rather than talking to one deer, I could communicate with the herd. So I would actually be talking to the entire consciousness. So I guess that's what I'm referring to when I say the consciousness of the dolphins is like the collective consciousness of the pod or the breed of dolphin, or, you know, whoever I'm communicating with. With regards to the retreat, it's interesting because I haven't been guided to establish a schedule. It's almost this sense of like, I've been told that the 20 people that are going to show up, so this is in September 2024 for people who are listening, I'm guided that the people that are showing up for this retreat are all very powerful people in their own rights, whether they know it or not. The retreat's called the Codes of Ascension, and it's very much got an Atlantean theme. And it feels, I've not been given a schedule for the retreat because it feels like I'm actually going to show up and be reading the energy of the group, like what is required here. So it's not like day one we do this, day two we do that. Every day we go out swimming with the dolphins as long as the weather permits. But yeah, my intention is that we're going to be telepathically communicating with the dolphins, asking for messages, asking for healing, asking for them to connect with our bodies, because the dolphins can help us activate the codes of light within our bodies as well. And they also carry that energy of Atlantis, so they can help us to remember who we are and who we've been in other lives as well, like the truth of our being. So yeah, my intention is for the people that come to come in, play, and joy, because also I feel like sometimes, you know, we're doing spiritual work and it's so serious, you know, so it's like, let's come, let's have fun, let's laugh, and let's, you know, the dolphins love it when you sing. The last dolphin retreat I went on, the dolphins, they weren't showing up, and I tuned in and I said, why aren't you coming? And they said, you're all being so serious. You all sat there meditating, taking everything so seriously. And I said, what would it take for you to show up? And they said, sing. We want you to sing. So I literally stood on the back of the boat and I sang the Little Mermaid song because I love it. And they showed up. And they were like, we want you in your joy. We don't want you in seriousness and everything has to be hard work. We want you in fun. So my intention for the retreat is that it's going to be fun and there's going to be a lot of joy and play, but also I'm aware that there's a higher aspect to it as well with for the people that are coming, and also, you know, on a planetary level as well. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. And I love that. I mean, it's so important, that joyful state, you know, we are children at heart, you know, to be curious and playful. And I really get it. That's such a high frequency to be in. And it is something that's been asked more now, because it has been quite a dense, heavy journey at times, especially. And we can go too deep. It can get very serious, like you say, you know. So that joy is important. And I just had that conversation with my sister actually on the phone this morning before we got on the line about going deep, but make sure to be playful. You know, it was interesting. We're talking about.
Say joy, you know, and that the dolphins are really good at playing and being joyful, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, and when you actually swim with them, they encourage that. So like I've been in the water with the dolphins, and like a dolphin's come and swam in front of me and dropped a piece of weed in front of me, and then I've picked it up and recognized it wants to play kind of what do you call it, like not chase, you know what I mean, fetch with the
Fetch,
dolphin.
yeah.
Yeah. And I've swam with the piece of weed and I've kind of, you can't really throw it because you're underwater, but I've released it under the water, and the dolphin comes back around and picks it up again. And they're encouraging you to play, and they love you to dive with them as well and to sing with them. Like they're more likely to come if you sing, because they love the frequency of your voice. But yeah, when you dive down and circle around, they encourage you to kind of spin round really fast as well. Yeah, they just love you to play.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And your retreat, how long is it for?
It's for a week.
For a week. Yeah. Sounds special, eh? It's great that it's so intuitive, like I feel we're in these high energies and things move quite fast. So, you probably found it yourself, it's hard to plan anything because something
Totally.
shifts and then you're like, okay, this is what's happening now. Um, and I have been on retreats where the teacher has had that as well, okay, we just show up and then we could be 5 minutes before we're going into class and she's like, I still haven't got told what we're doing, but once we all get here, we'll know, and I think that's a really profound way to work. So I love how you're doing that with your retreat.
Yeah, and in the past that, when I first started running retreats, I used to have my list of like, right, we're going to do this on this day, and it all planned out. And then, as time went on and I was running my own retreats, I realized it just doesn't work that way because, I might have on my list, right, today we're going to do a group past life regression, but when the group shows up, everyone's in their inner child. And it's like, oh, there's so many inner children here today, so let's actually do the inner child process. So it's almost like you can plan something, but really it's about reading the energy and being like, what's required here today. And it's interesting because my guides told me to schedule an event next week called Activate. And I said, okay, what am I doing? And they said, we're not telling you, just schedule it. And I was like, well, what do I write in the description? So I'm a little bit like, I'm just going to schedule it and just just write nothing.
People will show up, that's
And
it.
it's
You've
just
just
like,
put it out there.
well, yeah, there's a part of me, like the playful part of me wants to see how many people would actually sign up with no description, just the name
Yeah.
active. And this is the prize. Trust your intuition. If you're called, come.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
I
do
know.
that. I would
It
love for you
makes
to
me
do
laugh
that.
about it. Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
so cool. I think there's a guy, Kyle Cease. I don't know whether you've heard of him, but I followed him for a while, and yeah, he's still very current now. But it was some years ago, and when he started to become very big, he used to be a comedian, and then he had a big shift and became a transformational coach. And his workshops were called "I Hope I F This Up,"
Oh,
you know,
really?
and he would come with no material at all. He would just show up and just go, okay, let's see what happens today, and what comes through. And they're amazing, like he's quite special. And I feel that's an energy that's more present with us now, and more of us because we're becoming so fairly and open, and the veil's so much thinner, and there's more access to this. And every moment, we're dropping away from that linear time. I've had for many years 1 week. What is 1 week like? There was many moments in that 1 week. If I think back, today is what, Wednesday, last Wednesday, I just think, well, lots of things happened and it was amazing and beautiful and other things as well, whatever it was. But there was lots of moments, whereas that linear time's not really there. And I feel that's we were being asked, is to be more current and present with what's happening in that moment.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Like that's where the power is, in the present moment, right? It's almost like stop looking back to the past and stop worrying about what's happening in the future, because the power is in the now. Like be here now and what's showing up in this moment, and be in acceptance of that. Yeah.
and the Dolphins would really do that as well.
And it's interesting with this dolphin retreat because, like I say, it's been the biggest financial commitment I've ever taken on. And it's been the biggest test of trust. Like the dolphins are, you will fill this retreat, this will be successful. But, with 4 weeks to go and still owing a lot of money on this retreat, I'm like, okay, dolphins, bring the people. So it's been a massive test in like, can I trust what the divine asked me to do? Like what the dolphins asked me to do to run this retreat. So yeah, and it's just showing up every day with what I'm guided to do each day, rather than trying to work out logically what I'm meant to be doing. It's like every day it's like, right, go on this podcast right now, do this. And just trusting it'll all unfold perfectly.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good. I mean, it sounds like you're perfectly aligning with it, and you're listening and you're feeling the energies and staying present with it and all that.
Yeah.
Have you had any response or where are you at with participants?
So I've got, with the retreat, you mean?
Yeah.
I've got 20 places on the retreat and I filled 12 now. So a couple of weeks ago, I only had 7 booked. And I said to the Dolphins, right, you need to help me fill this retreat. Can you give me some advice on how to fill it? So I thought, oh, maybe they'll give me like, put this on your website or do this. And they said, yes, sing. And I said, that's it, sing. And they said, just sing. So I said, okay. So I literally sang for an hour solid at the top of my voice. And I took 5 bookings in 5 days.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, you can't make this up.
No, that's
So
it.
now I'm singing a lot. And the feeling is I feel like I'm singing people in, because it feels like this particular dolphin retreat feels like an invitation to a new life. It's like an opportunity to kind of let go of the old identities and step into a new timeline. And so it's interesting because the first people that booked on were like, yeah, I'm ready, I'm saying yes, showing up. And then there's almost like this tentativeness of like, I can feel people hovering around, but they're not saying yes because there's fear there of like actually landing and saying yes to the new life. So interestingly, I actually feel like the other 8 people are already here in my vortex, but they're not actually choosing it because I can feel the fear that of actually embracing that new change in their life, because that's what the dolphins are bringing. They're bringing the codes of ascension, like a new timeline for those people. So yeah, so now I'm running like weekly and fortnightly events to help people release fear, like release past lives in Atlantis where they abuse their powers, release entities that are holding them back, like each, and this activate energy that they've given me for next week is another one. It's like it's like all building on each other to help people release the fear of actually showing up and embracing the new. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's a big one, eh? But it's what we're being asked, and like you're saying, and what you're showing and presenting here is when you trust and you listen to that inner voice and you just follow through, you'll be
Yeah.
supported. It'll work out, and it is just saying yes to yourself, and yeah, for sure, there's big things in stepping forward, and saying yes to ourselves. There's so many areas we could go into that come up, that self-love is a classic one, but there's many more, of whatever it was that's happened in these past lives by showing up, as we touched on before we got together. So it's awesome you're doing these other retreats and things. And are they online that you're doing, or in person, or a bit of both?
I've been doing like smaller workshops online to just help people kind of move through these blockages and sabotages. And then obviously the dolphin retreat isn't online, but yeah, the mini events that I've been running have been online, and I am actually recording them as well. So if people want to go and buy them on my website, they are actually recorded for people to go back and purchase. But yeah, going back to the saying yes to you, this retreat has been the biggest me saying yes to me, because a few years ago, a friend said to me, if you won the lottery and money was no option, what would you do with your life? And I said straight away, no hesitation, I would take people swimming with the dolphins in the ocean. And then I just had this like epiphany of like, I don't need to win the lottery to do this. I can do this anyway. And that's what made me schedule this retreat, because I was like, this is actually my dream. This is my dream life. And I could come up with all the reasons not to do it, like the financial commitment that I've had to make to schedule it. But this is my dream life. This is what I genuinely want to do. So I've had to say yes to me and my dreams, and then giving other people the opportunity to say yes to them and their dreams. So yeah, it is a massive lesson in trust. But the message I got the other day was, if you succeed at this, when you succeed at this, you will never question what we ask of you again. You will always
Beautiful.
just keep saying yes, because
Yeah.
it's like a lesson in trust,
Hmm.
and I feel like they're taking me to the very edge. It's like, how
Yeah.
close to the retreat date are you going to trust us that this is going to work?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it sounds like it's like a big initiation in that trust for you, like to really go, yeah, there's areas where, because you move around a lot and you listen to
Yeah,
spirit and you communicate
I
with your
do.
guides and everything, and you feel pulled to go there, and you do go there, and oh, now this place and all that. So that's beautiful. It seems like what you're sharing about this retreat, it's that next level, that going each and so much further with that stepping into trust and seeing the support, aligning yourself with that higher timeline, that highest conscious timeline that is there for us all. And you're saying yes to that, which is saying yes to yourself, and that presents itself. And then knowing that everything else around that just lines up. It's just
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
It gives other people permission to say yes as well then, Yeah. Yeah.
And
But
where
yeah,
is
you're
your
right.
retreat?
I do listen to my divine guidance. Like, it takes me, go to Glastonbury, go here, go there. I do listen to that really solidly. I have always followed that, but this has been next level. But my retreat is in the Bahamas. It's in a place called Bimini, which is actually thought to be one of the original locations of Atlantis. So there's actually a road there of limestone blocks that's known as the Atlantis Road. And we actually snorkel on that site as well. So the message I've been getting is I'm going there to re-anchor the energy of Atlantis on this planet for the collective with these 20 people that are going to show up and come. So, yeah.
So that's important what 20 people are, that who they are as well and what they come with. It's not just
Exactly.
getting 20
It's
people.
not just me. It's not just me teaching and facilitating. These people are all coming. There's very powerful people, whether they recognize it or not, I can recognize it, that are showing up, each with their own individual gifts and each having a remembrance of Atlantis, and bringing that aspect to the retreat. And if it feels like a jigsaw puzzle that's all locking in together, that's all just, and that, I got an image of a crystal inside my heart the other day, and they said the crystal of Atlantis lies within you. And there was a sense of like a big crystal of Atlantis breaking into pieces, and a piece of each of this crystal was in each of the members of the pod that's coming to the retreat. And as that crystal comes together, it reactivates as the group. And that's why it's so important for the people to say yes. And that's why I'm putting so much energy into calling those other people, come on, it's time. It's time for this now. So yeah, it feels real. It feels life-changing. I keep saying
Yes.
not just a 1 week holiday with the Dolphins. It will be amazing, but there's a much greater purpose for it as well.
Yeah, much higher purpose. I can feel that. That's beautiful. It's what it is, what's happening now on the planet, that groups are coming together for higher purpose meetings, and they have codes for each other, and they need to come together and activate one another, and yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Wow.
it's exciting. It's exciting, and also it has really tested me as well with trust. Like, how much am I willing to trust?
Well, it
Yeah,
will, wouldn't I mean, it just they kind of come together, don't they? When as we step more into the light, that the darkness, whatever those things are there, um, and that pulling, wanting to keep you small and stay where you are, nice and comfortable, safe. It's okay.
yeah,
Yeah. The other day, I had a beautiful podcast, and we shared about like I noticed with certain things, I used to be able to just kind of white light them. I knew they weren't totally in resonance, but they were okay. Maybe a type of food or something, and I could just go, good intention, white light, yeah, it's okay. And now it's like, no, that doesn't
mm,
work anymore. You actually got to say fully yes and stay true to what's been asked, and it'll work out, and you'll be supported. And that seems to be the energies now. It's starting to come more into that real, true alignment with our truth, our true expression of who we truly are and what we're here for on a higher purpose. And it
yeah.
sounds, you're definitely doing that with this retreat. I really can really feel that.
And it's knowing that we're supported in that, because I think so many of us have this belief of like, oh, if I want to survive in the material world, I have to go and do this job that I don't love. And, this is how I make money. And maybe I can do the thing I love on the weekend or, every so often. But actually, the truth is, when you actually step into your highest joy, that is when you are going to receive the most abundance, because all of the energy of the universe is going to flow to the thing that is your highest joy. So money follows joy. So what is your actual joy? And it's just all this limiting beliefs of like, oh, it's got to be hard and go to work 9 to 5, pay the bill. It's like, no, it doesn't have to be that way. So it's like starting to break down those paradigms of how we've been brought up of like, this is the way it has to be. No, it doesn't. Yeah.
No, yeah, totally.
And the universe
Yeah,
supports you in your purpose, whether that's through money or something else. Just being, I just got offered this amazing house that I'm in right now for such a reduced price, overlooking the ocean in the middle of the bush. And I was like, wow, yeah, brilliant. It's just like the universe goes, here, have this, have this, have this.
yeah, totally. Yeah,
Just,
it's incredible, isn't it?
yeah,
It's like here as well. I felt I got called to go to Milford Sounds. I saw it and saw the energies I need to work with. So I was like, okay, I'll say yes. And then I was also pulled down to the Stewart Island and did some work there, and then in Dunedin area, and then some people got on the website, Kiwi House Sitters. They'd never done it before, and they contacted me. They hadn't even put up an ad or anything. They just private messaged me and said, "Would you like to come and look after our dog? We haven't really done this before, and do we pay you?" And all
mhm,
this, And at the same time, I was feeling into a car, and I've been given their car to drive, which is a 2022 BMW, to just drive
yeah,
around. And even though I
yeah.
have a car, and I was like, oh, it's so cool, like I just said, yes, I needed to come here, and I've been given the space and comfort and everything that comes with it. And they put a tab down in their local cafe for me to go and enjoy down there as well. And
Wow, amazing. Yeah. And that's what I mean. The universe just supports you in ways that you never thought was possible. And it is just living in that trust. But when you completely trust, okay, I'm being guided there, and you follow that, then it's like all the path just opens. The right people come in, the support comes in, everything that you need comes in because you're living in trust and following that pathway that you're meant to be on. But when you fight against it and go, oh, well, I'd like to do that, but I should actually go that way, then actually it gets a bit sticky because you're not actually in flow. You're not in divine flow. So yeah, the more you actually follow that, the easier it is.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, and also having clarity, having that clarity, and being clear with what it is you're saying yes to. I feel that also
Yeah.
helps.
And I want to add as well, because some people say, well, I don't know because I don't hear my divine guidance. So it's easy for you. People say this to me a lot. It's easy for you because you hear it so clearly. But what I want to say to anyone who wants to know what their highest choice is, like when you actually feel into the decision, like, what will happen if I choose this? When the decision is right for you, it will excite you and you will feel like your whole energy expands, like you just, like it's expansive. And then when you feel into something that isn't your highest good, it will feel more contracted. You might feel like a heaviness in your stomach, or like you've got a knot in your stomach, something, or kind of, oh. So it's like, listen to the way your energy responds. Whether you feel energetically sensitive or not, there will be a change in your feeling when you feel into that decision. Yeah,
Yeah, there'll be a degree of excitement or something, or
exactly.
you could feel heavy. You go, oh, I don't really want to do that. Or oh, that would be fun. And then there's I don't know how. I feel that's the next part. It's like you just got to let go of the how. It's the why. The why is the enjoyment, the excitement, and the rest will work itself out. And um, yeah, that's a bit of a journey as well, but it's happening all the time. I love what you share, because I feel, we're getting these wee signs and nudges all the time in everyday life, no matter where our consciousness is. And even if we just feel like we're on a treadmill and we're going to work and doing it, if we just lift our head a little bit higher, or just bring ourselves a little bit more present in the moment, you'll start to feel the senses that are going on in your body, and the way you're feeling about certain things, and you'll start to know, or certain person who turned up in your life, or a certain word in a sentence or whatever, and it just take those small steps and just acknowledge them, because that feeds it as well. When you actually say, oh, I had this feeling and I didn't follow it, but I did have that feeling. Well, just feed that you had the feeling, not that you didn't follow it, but you had the feeling, and
It's
it
like,
builds.
pay attention to the little signs as well, whether it's like you turn the radio on in your car and a song comes on and the line of the song is significant, or I remember once I was walking through Glastonbury and I was kind of like, oh, I was feeling into something, and I was like, why is this happening? I was trying asking for the answer to a question, and a couple walked past me, and the only line I heard from the conversation was, maybe it was a past life. And I was like, oh, I need to go and look at a past life experience connected to what I'm experiencing right now. And that was the only line of their conversation I heard. And I was like, thank you. So sometimes just overhearing a snippet of a conversation is the message for you, you know? So yeah,
Yes.
the signs are everywhere. Just pay attention. And it can come in a dream as well. You know, like I've had it where I've dreamt my wallet's been stolen. And then I'm like, the next day I think, oh, I dreamt my wallet was stolen. And then I kind of forget about it. And then my wallet gets stolen because I didn't pay attention to the dream. And again, like you say, you can have those signs and not pay attention, but it's a reminder of like, this is real. So next time, pay attention. You know, it's like the universe just giving you little lessons in like, we are guiding you. Can you pay attention to this now?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, beautiful. I love that. That's a classic. I had a really cool one. I was living with a friend at the time, and he was right into Matt Kahn, and he would just listen to him on his computer all the time and just have it in the kitchen. It would be going, and he was like, Matt Kahn this, Matt Kahn that. And yeah, I listened to Matt Kahn. He's amazing what he shares, but I wasn't called, to listen to Matt Kahn. He was almost throwing it down my throat, so again, I would have some resistance to that. And then he left this one day, and it was sitting there, the laptop with Matt Kahn going in the kitchen, and he'd gone. I was like, oh. And then I was like, okay, actually, just stop. Let's just listen to Matt Kahn. Maybe there's something there, I need to listen to. So I listened for a little bit, and oh yeah, I can resonate. Yeah, okay. And then I felt, okay, I'm done. And I stopped the video. I closed YouTube or whatever it was on. I turned the laptop off and I shut down the lid, and then I went outside, and I came back in about 10, 15 minutes later. And then all of a sudden, Matt Kahn started speaking out of the laptop.
Yeah, because that's what
And-
happens, right?
yeah. And there was just like one sentence, and I really was like, oh, I really needed to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love those synchronicities. Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's so cool. It's just like you're saying, they're always speaking with us. So, yeah, I really love this sharing. Is there anything you'd like to share with the audience before we move on and yeah, carry on our beautiful days and wherever we are?
I guess, I mean, I know we've not really talked that much about communicating with animals, but I guess I just want to share that, the animals that are in our life are here being of service to us. So if you do have a pet animal in your life, then, you know, they are able to communicate with you. Often to show you that they want to communicate, they'll often kind of stare at you and make contact with the eyes, and that's their way of saying, hey, I want to communicate with you. So just being aware that even if you think you can't communicate with animals, it is a natural instinct that we all have of telepathy. It used to be the way that we communicated, and we still have it, we've just forgotten. And so you can practice communicating with your animals by I mean, quietening your mind is helpful so that you can actually receive from them, but you can actually practice by sending them pictures in your mind. So say, for example, you want to take your dog for a walk. You can, in your mind, say, do you want to go for a walk, and show a picture of the lead. Like imagine the lead is in your mind and send the picture to the dog as if like you're sending a photograph to the dog, and start to be aware that the animal starts responding to your thoughts, because our animals are always reading our energies, so they can read our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions. They know exactly what's going on for us. So when we're in grief, cats and dogs will often come and sit on us to assist us in like releasing energy from our body. So those animals have actually agreed to reincarnate with you, come into your family, help you through challenging times in your life. So yeah, I guess I just want to acknowledge the consciousness of the animal and how much they are assisting us. And yeah, being aware that you're probably picking up on more than you think as well. So, animals will often tell us when they want to go out, when they want feeding, when their water bowl's empty. And you think it's a thought that you just randomly had of like, oh, I should check the cat's water bowl. But actually the cat was telling you, hey, my water bowl's empty. Can you please come and fill it for me? So yeah, I'm just sharing this so people can recognize that actually we are receiving communication from our animals all the time, whether we realize it or not. And yeah, they are here to be of service for us. So they do have an agreement with us that they've come to be here with us on the planet. So our pet animals are often helping us. Oftentimes they've come in as a support for a member of the family or multiple members of the family through a difficult time. And then other times they've come in to mirror back to us what we're doing. So if we're anxious, they'll come in and mirror our anxiety by being anxious. And also they can help us with physical ailments as well. And then we have like the wild animals, like the dolphins, that are helping us on a different level. They're helping us on the ascension process. And then, you know, the whales, and like every animal that shows up in your life is bringing you a message. To the little mouse that's eating your scraps in your kitchen cupboard, it's got a message for you. So it's yeah, the hawks that are flying above, just start to pay more attention to the animals that are showing up in your life. I mean, the thing that comes to mind is I drove home in the dark the other day and I came across 3 separate cows in the middle of the road, just stood full on in the middle of the road. What, like, you know, it's a fast road. And I was like, okay, just like you just suddenly come across a black cow in the middle of the road. And the next morning I was like, okay, maybe I need to acknowledge the message of cow, because 3 separate cows showed up on my journey home. Yeah. So, you
3
know,
as well. It's a very profound number.
it really is. Yeah. So
Awesome.
yeah, pay attention to the animals that are showing up in your life, because they are here to bring you messages and to support you as well. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great sharing. I also my awareness is that, yeah, like you say, they see things as like movies, like pictures. So I also have an understanding that's when someone's saying to a dog, like they don't want them to jump on the couch, you know, they're saying don't jump on the couch, but they're holding the image of the dog jumping on the couch. So it's very confusing
And
for the
animals
animal, you know.
don't
Mm,
hear the negative, so they just hear jump on the couch. They don't understand the don't.
yes. Yeah.
So animals don't want you to tell them, don't tell an animal what you don't want it to do. Tell it what you do want it to do. So don't say stop barking, say be quiet. You know, it's like, don't say don't jump up, say 4 feet on the floor, 4 feet on the floor. You know, because the animal is also responding to those thoughts as well. So yeah, if you have a vision of them jumping up, they're going to jump up.
Well, it's the same with us as well. Our consciousness doesn't recognize don't, because we have the feeling of the opposite when we're saying it, and the consciousness isn't listening to the voice or the words, it's the feeling.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so
Mm.
it's, you know, tell the animal what you want them to do. And animals do like to be given jobs. So, you know, sometimes they've been unconsciously given jobs. So maybe when, like a dog, for example, could have unconsciously been given a job as a guard dog. But then you're like, oh, why is my dog attacking everyone that comes to my house? On some level, that dog thinks it's a guard dog. So then you can tell it you don't want it to be a guard dog, but then it wants to know what you do want it to be, because it still wants a purpose, you know. So it wants you to say, okay, I don't want you to do that, but I would like you to do this. So because otherwise it's just, yeah, it's like saying to, if you've got an infestation of ants in your house, for example, and you say, I don't want you in my house. Well, great, but where can they go? Because they have to exist somewhere. So it's better to say, you can't be here, but you can be in the compost outside. And then showing them, this is the way to the compost. You can go and live there happily, but you can't stay here. So you're actually telling them what they can do. You're giving them the option of what they can do, rather than just saying, not allowed here. They're just like, where can I go?
Yeah.
Because
And I guess it's a confronting energy as well. You know, I don't want you here. It's like a anger, annoyance, you know, and stuff. So they're not going to respond to that anyway, or they are going to respond in the opposite as well. They're going to come back and reflect that and go, well, actually, we are here. We're going to stay here.
yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
beautiful.
just letting out what you do want of them, you know. Yeah,
Mm.
because they're trying to please you as well, you know, that like they're barking at the window because they think that's what you want, you know. And then you screaming at them to shut up, they just think you're barking as well. It's like, oh, we're all barking now, great, you know. So yeah, but
Oh,
yeah,
it's very cool.
so beautiful. Yeah, such a
Yeah,
such
they're
a
amazing. They're amazing. And I love what you say with all the creatures, you know, insects, everything, you know, they're just coming along. They come into your field because they have something for you.
yeah, just
I
like
just had the
people do.
kahoo fly past my window here yesterday morning, like only maybe 4 or 5 meters in the air, and there's quite a few houses right around here. And you know, had a message for me, and also followed me down across the lake. I've never seen a kahu flying over a lake so low. It was below me actually, and it was about the presence of, being present with the presence of where I am and the lake, and what the lake's message was the message I got. So yeah, it was really beautiful. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are important. They really, really are important, and they have a purpose. So it's wonderful that you're able to assist people to know these, and to know their purpose, and know that you're there, and to help. If people need to reach out, that you can
Yeah,
assist
absolutely.
with your amazing tools that you have and workshops that you run.
Yeah. Yeah. My website's rebeccagambles.com if anybody wants to reach out and yeah, see what I'm offering.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
put all those links under the podcast when it goes out, so people know how to find you and where to find you. And
Yeah.
and if they feel the call, for the Bahamas, and want to say yes to themselves and for a higher purpose, then yeah, reach out to Rebecca.
I guess it depends when the podcast goes because it might have already happened by
Yeah.
then.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true. Maybe I need to bring this one out earlier, actually.
Cool.
Point. Since we've felt that energy of sharing about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Maybe there's a phase two. I don't know, but yeah, that's a good point. Maybe this is a message for me to just start putting my podcasts out.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No time like the present, right?
Um,
Yeah, it's funny because I do feel that actually because it's like sometimes, I got this message about money as well, like sometimes we can hold on to money because we're like, oh, we'll save it for a future date, but actually money likes to flow. So it's like, just keep moving your money, and it comes in and it comes out. And I kind of feel that when you say that as well about the podcast, like you don't need to kind of gather them, just keep sharing them and just trust the flow will be perfect for you.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I do listen to guidance, and in that way as well. So if
Yeah.
I love, like just now, it's just like, oh, actually, maybe this is because I didn't feel like saying this is episode one and this is episode two or anything like that, because I felt like, oh, they'll just come out when they're meant to, and
Yeah.
so yeah, it's beautiful.
Mhm.
It's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Maybe I'm the nudge for you to put them out
Yeah.
earlier. Awesome.
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, it's been really awesome.
Yeah, thank you. How's that?
And yeah, thank you all for listening. And yeah, may you listen to your animals and watch the signs and the beings around you, because they're always communicating and sharing amazing, profound messages. And yeah, we're all here as one collective, one consciousness, and we're all interconnected planet as well, all communicating with us. So go well, and thank you again for being here, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.